Welcome to section 4, where we will explore techniques for building some of the most common features implemented in mobile apps. Welcome to the first video tutorial of section 4, which is going to be a 3-part series where we will explore the Google Maps API in Ionic. Under this topic, we will cover getting started with the Google Maps API in Ionic, placing custom markers on the map, and finally, how to use the Directions and Navigation API in your Ionic apps. So the first thing that you need to do is to navigate to the website console.developers.google.com, and you will be greeted with a page such as this in your default project, or if you don't have a project created, then you will land in the dashboard. So what we want to do is to go to the top left corner, and here we can see a list of our projects. So what you want to do is you want to create a new project. I'm going to use the one that is already selected, so I'm going to select console. So when you go to your specific project's dashboard, you should click here where it says Enable APIs and Services. You will be presented with a long list of different Google APIs. We want to go under Maps, and we will select the Maps JavaScript API. After the API has been enabled, we want to click on Manage. The management page has loaded, and we want to select this Credentials tab. So we currently do not have any credentials, so we'll click on Credentials in APIs and Services to create new credentials. So next, let's click on Create Credentials, and we want to create an API key. So our API key has been created. Let's copy it. And for now, I'm not going to restrict the key, but in a production application, you want to make sure you do so to prevent abuse. So I'm going to click Close, and we are done for this particular step. The second step is we want to start a new Ionic project from our command line. So our new Ionic project has been created. Let's navigate into the folder. And now let's open the folder in our code editor. So here we have our project open in the code editor. We want to navigate to source and open the index.html file. And in this file, we want to scroll down. Inside this head tag, we want to make an entry for the Google Maps API. So this is a script tag that goes to https maps.googleapis.com/maps/api/js, and then it appends your API key. So here we want to paste our API key copied from the Google console. So I've pasted in my API key, and I'm gonna save the file. The next step is I want to navigate to Source, App, Home, and I want to open home.page.html and home.page.ts. These will be the primary files that we're going to be working in. So let me close index.html and go to the template file. So inside our Ion content, we want to delete the default content, and we want to replace this with our map container. So let's save this. Next, we want to go to the TypeScript file, and here we want to import some additional classes. ViewChild and ElementRef. After our imports, but before the component decorator, we want to declare a variable called Google, and we're giving it a type of any. Inside our homepage class, we want to create a variable called map and give it a type of any. And after our map variable, we want to add the following code. So here we're using ViewChild to get a reference of our map and assigning it to this variable called mapref of type elementRef. Next, we are going to create a method called showMap, and inside this method, we will enter the code for rendering the map using the Google Map API. So that's it for our showMap method. The next thing we need to do is to ensure that when we enter into this particular page, that we always load the map. So we will create an Ionic lifecycle method called IonViewDidEnter and call the showMap method from it. So this will ensure that we always render our map each time we enter into that home page. So let's save this file. And there's one more change that is required. And for that, we need to open the SCSS file for our page. And what we're simply doing here is we are grabbing a reference to our map and giving it a height of 100% so that we can make sure that it renders. Without this code, your map will render, but it will have a height of 0%, which makes it invisible. So now we save the file and we want to launch the app using the Ionic serve command. This should result in the Google Map being rendered on the home page. And that's exactly what we have. Here is our Google Map rendering correctly in our mobile app. And we can scroll around. So we can see that our Google Map is rendering, but we are getting this error in our console that we must enable billing on the Google Cloud project. So this is just a feature built in by Google in that you can use Google Maps for free under a certain usage limit, but beyond that, you need to be paying for Google Cloud. So you just need to enable billing in your account and add a credit card for payment. So I shall do this. So in order to resolve this error, we're going to click on this link for our project billing page. So the billing page has loaded and we're being prompted to select our project. So we can come up here and it's my project. So then we set the billing account. And that's it. Our account has been set up for billing. So when we go back to the Ionic browser preview window, we should be able to load our Google Map with no problem. So when we return to our Google Map, we can see that it is rendering correctly and everything is working as it should. So the next thing that we want to do with our Google Map is we want to be able to add custom markers on our map to show custom locations.